A very good afternoon. I'm Shiraz Khan, and you are watching Anawim today. I am joined today by IIIia Djadi, who is Open Doors Senior Analyst on Freedom of Religion and Belief in Sub-Saharan Africa. So thank you very much, IIIia, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me on that platform.
Okay, IIIia, tell us what is Open Doors, what does it do, and what inspired you to join Open Doors?
Well, Open Doors is a well-known Christian organization supporting particularly persecuted Christians across the world. I joined Open Doors not recently, for 7 years. I have been working for Open Doors for more than 7 years ago. Personally, I am also from a religious minority group in my home country, in Niger. So I have personal reasons, professional reasons. It's a combination of factors push me to join Open Doors.
So tell us, what is it like to be a Christian in Nigeria?
Well, it's not, we need first to consider the social context of Nigeria to better understand the situation of Christians. Nigeria, I would say, is a divided country along religious line. The northern Nigeria is populated by predominantly Muslim population of the country. So in that area, in northern Nigeria, Christians are facing persecution almost on daily basis because of that. And we may remember also in 2012 of the 36 of the states, Nigeria is a federal state of 36 states, 12 of them adopted the Sharia law. So this general context of Sharia law is putting religious minority and particularly Christians under pressure in northern Nigeria. When it comes to pressure, we would think of the way the discrimination they may face on daily basis, access to school, access to job, the harassment on daily basis, but also in northeastern Nigeria, since 2009, a radical Islamist group known as Boko Haram is active there. So this Islamist insurgency is putting Christians more on pressure. It's a violent one with attacks targeting church buildings, Christian buildings, but also people. So that's the reality of Christian in Nigeria. It's very hard to be a Christian in Nigeria. It's a tough one. It's happening in northeastern Nigeria for Boko Haram insurgency, but also we need to consider the situation of Christians in the Middle Belt. The Middle Belt is central Nigeria, where you have predominantly Christian population, but affected by Islamist or Fulani militants attacking predominantly Christian communities.
So thank you very much. That's been very helpful. So when the government there in Nigeria passed these Sharia laws, did the Nigerian Christians offer some resistance to it? Or were they in a position to offer any resistance?
They are not in a position to offer any resistance. So they protested against it, but at the end of the day, the 12 states in northern Nigeria were able to eventually establish the Sharia law.
I understand that in the southern Nigeria, Christians are in majority and they don't face the kind of persecutions persecution people face in other parts of Nigeria. What are those areas, and why do Christians who don't live in the south face more persecution?
Well, like I said, Nigeria is a divided country along ethnic but also religious line. Northern Nigeria is a predominantly Muslim part of the country, but also populated by a particular ethnic group, the Hausa people, and they are the majority here, and Fulanis. In the south, The south is predominantly Christian area of Nigeria and populated by other ethnic groups who are the majority there, namely the Igbo, but also the Yoruba in the south. So in the south, because Christians are the majority, there's no persecution there. In the north, where they are rather the minority, that's where they are facing persecution. That's where they are facing discrimination almost on a daily basis. And particularly in the northeastern Nigeria, with this Boko Haram Islamist insurgency since 2009.
Ilya, when did Christians in Nigeria begin facing persecution, or has it always been the case historically?
Well, we need, like I said, it's good to consider the context of a minority living in a particular area. When you are the minority, depending on the way people behave, you will face discrimination. You will face persecution. Persecution, it can come through different ways. Sometimes from local authorities refusing to give the right things what Christian may expect: access to healthcare, access to schools, access to job, employment. That's the kind of persecution.
Well, that,
At
yes.
state level, whether from their neighbors.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, that because Christians in Nigeria in are minority and hence they face persecution. My question was, in recent years, do you think it has escalated? And if it has, why?
Well, it has escalated. We need to look back in 2009 when radical Islamist group called Boko Haram started its insurgency.
Yes.
It's an Islamist group. They have the rationale behind insurgency is this Islamic law, is this the Islamic law or the Islamic, they have this Islamic law, and because of that, their main goal is to establish a caliphate, and eventually, because of that, Christians become their primary target because they are not Muslims. Moderate Muslims would be also attacked because they are not sharing the radical ideology, the ideology behind it. They would attack even moderate Muslims. They would attack schools because for them, schools are synonymous with Western civilization, Christian civilization. And Boko Haram means schools are forbidden or banned.
So are you suggesting that it's the political Islam that is posing a threat to the Christians of Nigeria?
The Islamist ideology, which is the main rationale behind Boko Haram insurgency in northeastern.
Now, since you referred to the introduction of Sharia laws, so that's why I'm saying, is it the political Islam that is causing problems for the Christians of Nigeria?
Well, when we talk about Christian in Nigeria, let's talk about think of northern Nigeria. That's what is happening. In the 12 states, the adoption of Sharia law has created more pressure, has put more pressure on Christians living there. But in the addition of that, the Islamist insurgency in northeastern part has added a more violent wing or wave on this persecution faced by Christians living there. We should also consider what is happening in the recent year, coming more and more violent, with more and more attack targeting predominantly Christian population living in central Nigeria, what we call the middle belt of Nigeria. So you have the whole northern Nigeria, but you have the northeast and the central Nigeria. You need to consider it. In the south, there's no persecution.
Is there any chance that the Sharia laws will be repealed or amended or reversed?
It depends. We don't know. This has been going on since 2000. Things have not changed. And all this Sharia law adopted, it was against the federal constitution of Nigeria as a country.
You mentioned Boko Haram. Um, what are they like now? Have they gained strength? Who supports them, and where do they derive their power?
Well, Boko Haram has been active since 2009 in this part of the country. At that point, a certain time of period, particularly in 2014, they have really strong points. They are capable to overrun a huge portion of the territory of Nigeria in northeastern of the part of the country, like something like the size of Belgium or Switzerland in 2014. So when Buhari eventually took power or came to power in 2015, he came to power with the promise to restore law and order and eradicate Boko Haram. And he claimed that Boko Haram has been technically defeated. Well, they achieved some success, military speaking, but only I would say what happened over time is that they were able to move Boko Haram from cities to rural areas. Boko Haram were capable to continue attacking rural community living in the remote areas, and they are still attacking and killing people on daily basis, almost on daily basis.
So, would you say that the president, the incumbent president, has failed on his promises?
Well, he promised, but based on fact, we can see Boko Haram is still active. So yeah, that's the situation.
And tell us who is Leah Sharibu and what happened to her earlier.
Well, Leah Sharibu is that school girl. In 2018, um, 2 days, in 2 days, we will be, eventually, it will be the third anniversary of the kidnapping. She was a school girl, and in 2018, Boko Haram militants stormed their school in the northeastern town of Dapchi. They eventually kidnapped 110 school girls, took them in the bush in their camps. But eventually, they were able to they release the rest of the group, only detain Leah because she refused to deny her Christian faith. She refused to turn into Islam because most of the other schoolgirls are from a Muslim background. So they released them because they are Muslims, and eventually kept Leah Sharibu because of her refusal to deny her faith. So she has been in detention now for 3 years.
Okay, so that's quite shocking that this group, they kidnapped 110 girls in 2018, and all of them, 109 of them, except Leah Sharibu, were released because Leah Sharibu stood strong in her Christian faith and refused to convert to Islam. And what else do we know about Leah Sharibu? Uh, do we know about her whereabouts, or has Open Doors got any hope that she would be released?
Well, we don't have any information about any negotiation progress from the government. But from what we know, we can say so far is that Leah Sharif is still alive. And because she is still alive, we are hopeful, and we are praying, we are advocating so that Leah one day can be released, can be returned to her parents. They have been waiting for that moment for 3 years now. They are still hoping, they are still praying, and it's a traumatic situation for them as parents to be
It is.
all this time for that.
Now, the picture that you have painted about the Christians of Nigeria is appalling. It is unacceptable. This kind of horrible treatment shouldn't be given to anyone, regardless of their color, religion, or belief. Are you concerned that Nigerian Christians are fleeing to other countries? Is that the case? And if that's the case, does that concern you, Ilya?
Well, people affected by the violence, particularly the Islamist insurgency in northeastern Nigeria, are forced to flee to save their lives. Otherwise, they will be killed because Boko Haram has been attacking communities, vulnerable communities, destroying properties, kidnapping girls, women, killing people. There are thousands of Nigerian refugees in neighboring Niger, in Cameroon, or in Chad.
And what can the international community do in terms of it using its influence on the Nigerian authorities?
Well, the international committee has can play an important role in this issue to put more pressure on Nigerian government to provide security, the security needed by all Nigerians. Because today, the main issue in Nigeria is about insecurity. People don't feel safe in Nigeria. They are not safe on the road when they are traveling because they may be attacked or kidnapped or killed. People are not safe when they are at home overnight because unknown people, whether radical militants, whether a criminal gang would attack and kidnap people. So on the top of all that, people are also attacked because of their religious background. So it's a major source of concern from international law, from human rights international law, but also is about international security. Remember that Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, more than 200 million people. What would happen if eventually Nigeria collapsed in terms of migration, in terms of the impact of this on neighboring countries, not only in Africa, but also we will see more and more migrants crossing the Sahara Desert, crossing the Mediterranean Ocean, trying to reach Europe. It's a big issue from international, from all perspectives.
Yes, it makes sense. So the more destabilization occurs in Nigeria, the more destabilized the other countries, the neighboring countries will become, and when they come to the Western countries and seek refuge, which is perfectly fine, but that adds pressure on the economies of those countries. Now, Ilya, tell us about the situation in the rest of the African countries? And how do you compare them or the situation there with the Christians in Nigeria?
Well, what we are, the situation in Nigeria, we have some similarities, and we can see how over times now, Islamist extremist group are gaining ground across Africa. So not only around Lake Chad or in central Nigeria, but also in the Sahel region. In the Sahel region, you have also Islamist groups, some with clear links to Al-Qaeda, others with Islamic State, operating in Mali, in Niger, in Burkina, and killing people almost on a daily basis. But across the whole Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, we can see radical Islamist groups are now expanding and gaining ground. Remember the Al-Shabaab, another radical Islamist group based in Somalia, but affecting neighboring countries like Kenya, Tanzania, but also more recently, which is non well reported by media, I would say, in the Central African region, in the Great Lake regions, in Eastern DRC, there is also an Islamist group called ADF, active there, mass killing, carrying out mass killing almost on daily basis. Yesterday it was the case. The day after yesterday it was the case in Eastern DRC. But no one is talking about this. And
So,
more recently, I want to finish with Mozambique.
yeah, please.
In the southern part of the continent, there's another radical Islamist group operating in Mozambique. So you can see the picture, you can see the geography of this Islamist insurgency affecting almost the whole continent.
So, Ilya, Al-Shabaab, Boko Haram, ISIS, and other groups What is their agenda? What do they want? Do they want to exterminate Christians from these regions? What do they want? Why are they doing it?
Well, this they have a number of things in common. The main one is this ideology. They share this radical Islamist ideology or radical interpretation of the Quran or the Islam. And because of that, they all want to establish a caliphate. They all want to turn everybody or the countries into Sharia, to submit them into Sharia. And because of that, Christians are the primary target because they are not Muslims. They will also attack moderate Muslims who are not sharing the this radical ideology, radical interpretation of the Quran. They will also attack schools. They will also attack the symbols of the state or the state representative where they are. Because of that, we can see buildings are attacked. They would attack churches. They would attack schools. In a country like Burkina Faso in the Sahel region, more than 3,000 schools have been closed down or destroyed by Islamists because of the Islamist insurgency affecting Burkina Faso. So it's a lot. They share the ideology, all these groups, but the way they are operating is also, all are also the same. And they are inflicting trauma, sorrow, death on civilians, on innocent people.
And where do they get their support from? Who finances them? Do they have sympathizers in those regions?
Well, all these groups are, I would say, part of the Islamist, I would say, network worldwide. So directly or indirectly, they have some connections, and we can see the way they are operating is they are well armed, well trained. It's a clear there's a level of sophistication they can only get from others from Iraq or from Syria or Afghanistan. I don't know, but how they are funded and why they are strong, there's a number of reasons. They have a lot of money because the way they are operating, they are controlling a number of illicit traffics, human traffics, for example, migrants trying to cross. They will take from them. And they will
Yes.
also control the route of drugs traffic coming from Latin America, crossing the Sahara Desert before transiting in Africa before reaching Europe. The control of this route of traffic or transit route, and they will get a lot of money out of that. But also the illicit traffic of arms from Libya, from Ada, from one area to another area. And also because some of them were capable to run over a portion of territory of some of the countries, they have also developed a criminal economy. So they're taking taxes instead of the state. So they have different ways. A network is illicit traffic networks, enabling them to get a lot of money, to get sophisticated weapons, and eventually even to carry attacks on military bases, where in some cases they are capable also, again, to collect weapons from the local armies.
And Ilya, in what ways Christians here in the United Kingdom, in Europe, and elsewhere in the world help Open Doors so that Open Doors continues to champion the cause of Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere in the world?
Well, our responsibility is first to raise awareness so that the international
Yes.
community can be aware of what is happening, the scale of this violence, the way it's affecting communities based on their religious convictions, religious background, a Christian minority facing it, but also the impact on socioeconomic impact on that countries affected by this insurgency. Let's consider a country like Burkina Faso. If nothing is done properly, if the international community didn't deal properly with this issue, the existence of this country is even threatened. It's a security issue affecting the whole country, and the communities living there. It's affecting the economy. Nothing can be done without security. People are not free to go to carry out their businesses on daily basis. That's a big issue. So the international community should be aware. And when we consider the Christian audience or population here, the Bible said we are all part of the same body. How do you feel if one part of the body is hurt or affected? That's the key question. Think about it. Do we feel that we are part of the same body? How do you feel when we heard that Christians or a part of this body is bleeding? Churches are attacked in Nigeria and other
Mhm.
countries. People are not able to go to school because of that. We know we are talking about the mass kidnapping of girls, the mass kidnapping of innocent school children on their way to school or while at school. So that's the situation. The picture is really bleak. So let's consider it and think about it. How can we help? Pray for these countries affected by it, pray for the communities affected, but pray also for our local partners operating on
Yes.
the ground who
Mhm.
are there exposing their own lives to provide help, the really needed help in terms of relief material, in terms of shelters, in terms of foods, in terms of medicine or trauma counseling. So that's the situation. Also, because we are in UK, for those who are in UK, how can they eventually put pressure or lobby their MPs, go and talk to
Mhm.
them
Absolutely.
to take it to another level so that the MPs can also, or the government in UK or elsewhere, can
Yes.
put more and more pressure on the Nigerian government to do better because we believe they can do better to provide security, security for all, but protection also for the vulnerable communities.
Elia Jadi, thank you very much for your time. And it's been quite enlightening for me. And I believe that Christians around the world through this platform would get to know about the kinds of persecution that Christians in Nigeria are facing. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity.